Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of biology. And of course, today I want to continue on our study of supporting tissues. And of course, we want to look at the complex permanent tissues today. Complex permanent tissues. All right, so do not forget that these tutorials, these episodes, they are brought to you by the O3 Schools app. All right, and of course, if you're preparing for your JAMB exam or you're preparing for your WAEC exam or any other O-level examination, definitely the O3 Schools app is the best fit for you. We have the JAMB app, we have the WAEC app. Pass your exam at once is our mantra. All right, check our testimonies, you will see why we are the best out there. All right, but before we talk about the features of these wonderful applications, let's quickly see a past question from the JAMB app. Okay, it's a 2012 question number 19, 2012 number 19 question pertaining to complex permanent tissues. It says, use the diagram below. It is being shown on your screen right now. Use the diagram below to answer the question that follows. You are given a diagram of a plant, all right? And then you are asked, the question says, transportation in the xylem is represented by, transportation in the xylem is represented by A says I, B says II, C says III, D says IV. Okay, so look at different parts of the plant have been labeled. Okay, and then we're asked that transportation in the xylem is represented by what? All right, so if you do not know it, you do not know it. Okay, so that is why you should not stress yourself too much. We'll answer this question at the end of the class and many other questions. This is why you must watch the class. You must watch the video to the end. All right, so please ensure you download the app. The app has everything that you need to succeed in your exam. The O3 School JAMB or the WAEC app is structured for you to pass your exam at once. Especially the JAMB has wonderful features like the classroom feature. In the classroom, there are lecture notes, so you don't need to bother about notes, whether do I need textbook, which textbook should I use. Okay, the app has solved that problem for you. They say there are lecture notes pertaining to all the subjects structured according to the JAMB syllabus for you to study. There's also a question search feature. So the way we search for this question right now, we just went to biology in the app, and then we searched for supporting tissues. Then all the questions that JAMB has set under supporting tissues came out. Or you can just search for xylem. You see questions under xylem. You can search for phloem. You see different questions under phloem. You can then answer them to build your confidence. What is more, there's a mock challenge on the app. Every Saturday, okay? Every Saturday, there's a mock challenge in which all students that are writing JAMB or WAEC for this year come to the app to compete with each other to win prizes. But you know the funny thing? The most important thing about the app is not those prizes, about the challenges, not those prizes you are winning. It's for you to gain confidence to be able to attack and smash questions once you see them. All right? It makes you to place yourself in place of the examiner to see how he's reasoning, what he may likely want to ask you in a particular topic. That is why you should not miss any of our challenge, and you should not miss using the application also. Finish your syllabus at once, and of course, you will see that you are good to go. All the past questions for the app is available. For JAMB or for WAEC is available on our JAMB and WAEC applications. All right, so please get the application and activate it. All right, look into the application. Activation is for just a little fee, not less than the price of rice and chicken. In fact, it's not more than the price of rice and chicken right now if you go to a good restaurant. So please do not play balablu with your future, okay, because of what? A small fee. So check the price on the application to see the correct price on the application as you download it. Okay, so please get the app, and you will see that what success is very, very, very close to you. So let us see complex permanent tissues today. So in the previous class, or in the introduction to supporting tissues, we must have at least hinted on complex permanent tissues. We'll talk about the simple permanent tissues. We'll talk about the complex permanent tissues. We say that the simple permanent tissues, okay, are made up of what? One type of cell, okay? One type of cell, not different. They are made up of one type of cell that come together to form all those simple permanent tissues, okay? But those one type of cells, all right, perform the same function. So likewise is complex permanent tissues. For complex permanent tissues, we have more than one type. We have more than one type of cells. So if you do not want to say more than one type of cell, you can say different types of what? Different what? Types of what? Of cells, okay, that come together to work together to perform what? A what? A particular what? Function, okay? So they come to perform the same function. Those are complex permanent tissues. Complex permanent tissues are those tissues in plants, okay, that are made up of more than one type of cell that work together to perform the same function. They work together to perform the same function. Those are complex permanent tissues, okay? I will go over that again in case you did not hear me well. I said that complex permanent tissues, they are not like the simple permanent tissues, okay, that are made up of one type of cell, okay? The complex permanent tissues are made up of different type of cells or more than one type of cells that work together to perform what? A specific what? Function. All right, those are what? The complex permanent tissue. All right, and of course, as you know very well, that complex permanent tissues, they have already lost their ability to what? To divide. Okay, because they are not complex, they have stopped what? Dividing. That means that what? They now have specialized functions. Okay, because they have stopped dividing, they have stopped dividing. They have what? Stopped what? Dividing. That's why we call them what? Complex. They have stopped what? Dividing. Because of that, they now have a specialized function. For example, some of them may choose to what? To protect. They could be what? For protection. They may be for what? For support also. Okay? They may be for what? For flexibility. All right? Okay? So they may be for what? For protection. They may be for what? For support. They may be for what? For flexibility. They may be for transportation. Okay? Transportation. Okay? So these are what? Complex permanent what? Tissues. Okay? This is what happens to them when they stop dividing. They now have a specialized function. They now choose. It's just like when you don't grow up, when you're small, you don't get choice. If they say eat akamu, you go chop am. If they say eat what other food do babies eat, you will eat because you do not have a choice. Anything they put in your front, the only thing you can do is that you eat small and then because you don't like it, you stop eating. Okay, but you don't really have a choice, right? But then when you grow up, at a point when you start making your own money, so you go force me match up beans, I mean match up eba. Okay, you will not force me, all right, because I've already what? Matured. So these complex permanent tissues, they have matured, they have stopped what? Dividing, and of course, they now choose specialized role. They now choose what? Specific or what? Specialized roles. Okay, so that's why some of them can choose to what? To protect, some for support, some for flexibility, some to transport what? Water and minerals. All right, so that is what complex permanent tissue. I'm sorry, I'm hitting on it too much, but all these points I've made here is for you to what? To note them down because they are very, very important. These are what? These are strict exam questions. They are questions you can see in your exam. All right, complex permanent tissues, they stop dividing. They're already mature, they stop dividing, and then they choose what? Specialized roles. Okay, so there are two types of complex permanent tissues. Let us go to that part. There are two types of complex permanent tissues, and those two types, of course, you know them very well. They are the xylem and the phloem. Okay, those two types are what? The xylem. Okay, then number two, we have the phloem. Okay, so these are the two types of what? Complex permanent tissues that we have, the xylem and the phloem. All right, so now what does the xylem do? The function of the xylem is to what? The xylem, first of all, is responsible, or the function of the xylem is to transport water and minerals. Okay, to transport water and what? And minerals. Okay, from the roots to the shoot, or to what? Or from the root to different, or to the root to what? Different parts of what? Of the plant. Different parts of the plant. Okay, so this is the function of the xylem. The function of the xylem is to transport water and minerals from the root to the shoot, or from the root to other parts of the plant. Okay, that is the function of the xylem. You must take note of that. It's a typical exam question, as we will see very, very soon. The function of the xylem is to transport water and minerals from the root to the shoot, or from the root to different parts of the plant, or to other parts of the plant. What about the phloem? The function of the phloem basically is to transport what manufactured food. So phloem, okay, this what helps in the transport, or in the transportation, in the transport of what? Of manufactured food. Okay, and of course for the phloem, all right, it is what? Bidirectional. Bidirectional. Okay, it's either from the top to the bottom, or from the bottom to the top. Okay, now we'll see the difference between the xylem and the phloem very soon. So I do not want to rush you. Okay, but you should know that xylem transport what? Water and minerals from the roots to other parts of the plant, okay, in only one direction, mostly in the upward direction. Upward. These are exam questions. Upward direction. Okay, the xylem will transport water and minerals from the root to the shoot, or from the root to different parts of the body, or from the root to other parts of the plant. Okay, in the upward direction mostly. While for the phloem, it helps in the transport of manufactured food, okay, and the movement is usually bidirectional. It could be from the root to the leaves, or from the leaves to the To the root, okay? So please take note of all of that. But before we talk about all of this, let us see what components of the xylem, all right? The components of the xylem, all right? So let us see what the xylem is made up of, all right? But before we continue, please, it is very, very wrong that you are watching this kind of videos for free, all right? And then you are not supporting us, okay? Many people are not aware of this channel. In fact, so many of our students who scored above 300, especially in the last JAMB, they told the way they got to know of the channel is in a funny way. But many people are not aware that this channel exists. And that is where you come in, okay? Because you need to tell others with your mouth, all right, that this is where I'm learning from, one, or you can like this video, because liking the video will send this will make YouTube or make our social media account to be suggesting these videos to other students who want to write exam. So that is why you must like the video. So right now, before you continue, you can click on that hand that is doing like this, like. You can like, okay? You can share the link, copy the link, click on that share, copy the link, and share it to your class group, to your friends and your loved ones who are preparing for exam. Even if they're in SS1, it does not matter. Okay, from SS1, you can start learning, because we know that a lot of people do not have opportunity to have good teachers. So please ensure that copy the link, share to your junior ones who are from SS. Let them start with us from SS1. You see how good they are when you get to SS3. All right. So also you can ensure you subscribe to the channel. So many of you are not subscribed to this channel. If your subscription box is showing you red, it means you have not subscribed. If it's showing you gray, it means you have subscribed before, so you can leave it. But if you have not subscribed, click on that red subscribe button below this video, so that you can stay subscribed, so that whenever we release a new video, you'll be notified. Okay, so please do all of this to support us, so that we can grow. All right, and also make sure you have the O3 Schools app on your phone, either the JAMB or the WAEC. Okay, and start preparing. Let us finish our syllabus together. So now let us go. The components of the xylem. Components. What is this xylem made of? Okay, the xylem is made up of 4 components basically. Okay, number 1, we have the tracheids. Okay, anyhow you pronounce it, tracheids or tracheids. Okay, we have the tracheids. We have the vessels. Okay, we have the vessels. This is another component of what? Of the xylem. Then we have the xylem, the one we call the xylem parenchyma. Please take note of this. We have the xylem parenchyma, then we now have the xylem fiber. Okay, so these are the components of of the xylem. 4 components. You will see them in your exam. All right, it's not what you should be playing with. Whether you like it or not, you will see them in your exam. So that one man will not come and tell you that he want to do you they call revelation hour for you, and tell you that a day before the exam you is organizing revelation hour. Possible question that will come out in the exam. He will not tell you this one that this one is going to. It will, whether it tells you or tell you or not. Okay. you should know this kind of question. JAMB does not play with it. If you are very used to your past question, that's why you need the O3 Schools app, because it has other wonderful features. Okay, you don't need a soothsayer to tell that this kind of questions come out in exam. All right, so you must know these components. You must know them. Also for the phloem, we are going to get to phloem. You must know what the component also. So these are the 4 components of what? Of the xylem: the tracheids, the vessels, the xylem parenchyma, and the xylem fiber. All right. And among all of these vessels, okay, so among all of these components of the xylem, among all of these components of the xylem, all of them have what we call dead cells. They have what we call what? Dead cells. What we mean by dead cells is that at maturity, they die. They are not living. When they mature, they stop living. Okay? They die. They stop living. They stop living. Okay? And then they die. All right? But only one of these what? Xylem component is what is living. Okay? Please take note of that. Only one of these xylem components is living at maturity, while all others are dead cells. Please take note. This is another exam question that can come out. So you should not joke with it. Okay? So the tracheids has what? Dead cells. We'll see the characteristics of what? All of them right now so that we understand better. The tracheids has dead cells. The vessels have dead cells. The xylem fibers have dead cells. Only the xylem parenchyma, okay, has what? Are living at maturity. At maturity, only maturity, okay, only the xylem parenchyma has what? Living cells. But at maturity, when they don't grow, when they don't mature, okay, the tracheids, they die. Okay, they comprise of what? Of dead cells. Okay, vessels too, fibers too. For the xylem, so when we get to the phloem, you will know. But know this for xylem component, that only the xylem parenchyma is living, while all other 3 are what? And have what? Dead cells. Now let us see the characteristics of what? Of the tracheids. The characteristics, we're going to look at all of them one after the other. Let us see the characteristics of the tracheids. So please like this video, subscribe to this channel. Okay, share the link. Okay, tell others about us. Download the application. Okay, and activate it. That's the most important part. Okay, so let us see the characteristics of the tracheids. Tracheids, number one, okay, they contain what we call large dead cells. Remember, I told you that what? That all components of the xylems have what? Dead cells. Okay, dead cells, except what? The xylem parenchyma. Okay, so tracheids, they have what we call large dead cells. Okay, and then number 2, they have what we call end-to-end placement of cells to provide or to afford for a continuous channel. Okay, they have what? End-to-end placement of what? Of cells to allow or to provide for continuous what? Channel. All right, so number 2, I also call what? End-to-end placement of cells to allow, okay, for a continuous channel. Okay, so this is what number 2. Okay, so number 1, large dead cells. Number 2, end-to-end placement of cell to allow for a continuous channel. Then number 3, walls are lignified. Okay, walls are lignified. By walls are lignified, what it simply means is just like like waterproof. Okay, to strengthen what? To strengthen what? The xylem. The walls of what? Of the tracheids, they are what? They are lignified, just like waterproof, so that they can hold that water tension. Okay, that water tension as it passes what? Across it. Okay, so that it does not what? Collapse. Those are what? That's what we mean by lignification. Okay, it thickens what? The cell wall. It thickens the cell wall. Okay, so that it does not what? Collapse easily under the tension of what? Of water. All right. So that is what? Another what? Characteristic of what? Of the tracheids. And then lastly, they provide what? Mechanical support. Then number 4, provide mechanical support. All right, so these are what? The components of what? Of the xylem we are discussing. Number 1, the tracheids. We say they have large dead cells. They have what end-to-end placement of cells to allow for continuous what channel. All right, they have their walls lignified. Their walls are thickened, okay, to prevent collapse under high tension, okay, under tension of water. Then of course they provide what mechanical support. Then what is the second component we talked about? We have the tracheids. Then we have what the vessels. So let us quickly see the characteristics or some characteristics of the vessel. Just some. Okay, so the vessel, number one. So number two now, vessels. Okay. So what the vessels do is to provide free flow of water and minerals. Okay, to allow for free flow of water and minerals. So number one, free flow of water and minerals. Okay, so they allow for free flow. This is flow, abego, FLOW. They allow for free flow of water and minerals. Also, for the vessels, the cells are placed end to end also to afford for that was continuous or channel. Okay, so number two, okay, cells are placed end to end. All right, and thirdly, they also have a lignified cell wall. Okay, so the wall is also thickened. Okay, so number three, lignified cell wall. Okay, and also transverse wall. Okay, transverse wall dissolve to form a continuous channel. All right, so please take note of this also. So they have a lignified cell wall. Quite all right. So the cell wall is what is sticking to prevent collapse. Okay, under tension. Now also they also have the transverse wall. Those have transverse wall will dissolve to form a continuous channel. All right. So these are the characteristics of the vessel. They allow for free flow of water and minerals. The cells are placed end to end, and then they have the lignified cell wall, and then the transverse walls dissolve to form a continuous channel. Very easy, right? Then what's the third one? The third one is the Xylem parenchyma. And what do you remember about the Xylem parenchyma? I told you rather that the Xylem parenchyma is the only living cell among the Xylem component. Let it stick in your head. Okay? The Xylem parenchyma is the only living cell among the what? Among the Xylem components. So let us quickly see some of the characteristics of the Xylem parenchyma. All right. So parenchyma now number three. Xylem parenchyma. Okay. So number one, the function of the Xylem parenchyma. Number one, most importantly, is that they store storage of starch. They store starch and fats. Take note of that, okay? The Xylem parenchyma stores what? Starch and fats. It stores what? Starch and fats. Lastly, it stores what? Starch and fat. Let it get what? In your head. Let it stick in your head, okay? So that's number one. Then also they assist in short distance transportation. They assist in short distance transportation, all right? Assist in short distance transportation. Okay, so the Xylem parenchyma, they assist in short distance transportation. Of course, number three, okay, they are the only living cells at maturity, okay, among the Xylem components. This is a very tricky and very good exam questions, okay, that can be asked you, okay. Among the Xylem component, which of them has living cells at maturity, okay? The only one is called the Xylem parenchyma. Xylem parenchyma. They store starch and fat. They assist in short distance transportation, and they are the only living cells at maturity among the Xylem component. All other are dead cells. Let us now look at number four. Number four, the fourth one, of course, the Xylem fiber. The Xylem fiber, okay? And the Xylem fiber, what it does is to to transport water. Okay, the xylem fiber, what it does is to transport water. Xylem fiber. Okay, so number one characteristics, it helps in what? In the transport of what? Of water. All right, so number one, it is involved in water transport. Okay, it is involved in water transport. The xylem fiber is involved in water transport. And then number two, and lastly, okay, it helps to provide mechanical support to the plants. Okay, so the xylem fiber helps in the provision of mechanical support to the plant. So these are the components of the xylem. Okay, the xylem. We say number one is what? What's number one? Tracheids. Tracheids. Then number two, we said vessels. Vessels. Then number three, we said what? Xylem parenchyma. Parenchyma. Then number four, which is you are seeing on the board right now, the xylem fiber. Okay, so please take note of what? Of all of these four. And we'll say that the xylem, okay, helps in the transport of what? Of water and what? And minerals. Okay, in the what? Mostly in the upward direction. All right, please take note of what? Of that. They transport water from the root, okay, to the shoot, or from the root to other part of the plant in one direction. Okay, please take note of that. Upward direction. That is that. So, but of course, we say the phloem helps to what? Transport manufactured food. So we are going to the phloem now. We're going to the phloem. So we say that the phloem, it assists or helps in the transport of what? Of manufactured what? Food. And the movement is bidirectional. So it could be from top to bottom or from bottom to top. Okay, so for phloem, number two now, second component, phloem. Okay, it assists in what? Helps in what? In the transport of manufactured food. Okay, all right. It helps in the transport of what? Of manufactured food. And we say that their movement is what? Is bidirectional. Is bidirectional. Okay, mostly from what? From the leaves. Okay, to the what? To the rest of the plants. Okay, or from what? From what? From the root to what? To the what? To the leaves. Okay, so it can be from top to bottom or from bottom to top. So, but mostly it's from the leaves to the rest of the plant. So whenever you see question, all right, and they ask you mostly that which of the following tissues, okay, is responsible for transporting food in the upward direction only. Okay, just know that that is what? Xylem, upward only. That is xylem. Do not choose phloem in that condition. Okay, but if they say that which of the following, because I've seen a lot of questions where they do not talk about what this bidirectional what transport of what? Of food. Okay, so if they're talking about transport of food, first of all you should know that that is even what? Phloem. If you're talking about transport of water and minerals, that's what I'm talking about what? Xylem. So you should know how to what? How to place yourself. Do not let an examiner confuse you. Okay, so phloem transport what? Manufacture food in both directions. Okay, from the leaves to the plant, or from what? From the roots or the plant to what? The different. It can transport what? Manufacture what? Food. All right. It is the movement is bidirectional, but mostly I think in exam conditions they are concerned about what? The most important direction, which is from the leaves to the what? To the rest of what? Of the plant. Okay. So also in exam condition, note that if they ask you a question, which of the following, okay, transport what? Helps in the transport, okay, from in the upward direction only. Just know that what? That is the xylem, okay, or the one that helps in what? Transporting, okay, from leaves, from the leaves to the rest of the plant. That one will be what? The phloem. Okay, so but know that the movement is basically bidirectional. All right, so I don't think they will tell you this. Okay, but most of our teachers will not say this to confuse you. But know that xylem upward, phloem from leaves to the rest of the plant. Xylem from roots to the leaves. Okay, phloem from leaves to the rest of the plant. So take note of that. Do not let it ever confuse you. Now, let us quickly see the component of the phloem. So the component of the phloem is also 4. So the phloem also has what? 4 components. The phloem also has 4 components. Number 1, we have the sieve tube. We have what? The sieve or tube, okay? Phloem has 4 components. We have the sieve tube. Number 2, we have the what we call the companion cells, okay? This is another component of what? Of the phloem. Thirdly, we have the one we call the phloem parenchyma. The phloem parenchyma, then number 4, very easy now. We now have what? The phloem what? The phloem fiber. The phloem fiber. Okay, so these are the 4 components of what? Of the phloem. Okay, so number 1, the sieve tube. Sieve tube. Okay, we have what? The companion cells. Number 3, we have the phloem parenchyma. So number 4, we have the phloem fiber. Please take note of what? Of all of these. For the xylem, you know the 4 components. Okay, the tracheids, the vessels, the xylem parenchyma, and xylem fiber. Just look at for xylem now. We have what? The tracheids. Okay, then we have what? The vessels. Okay, these other 2, they're almost the same, just the phloem change. So we now have xylem parenchyma. Okay, then we now have what? The xylem what? Yeah, we have the xylem what? Fiber. So you can see, all right? So they are almost similar in the last 2. That means that what you have expected to know for the phloem, know these first 2. For the what's it called? For the xylem, know this first 2. You know that these other 2, they are what? The same for both of them. Okay, it's just the change of what? Of xylem to phloem. Okay, interchangeably. All right, so please, that is that. Very, very, very easy. Do not be confused by. Do not miss a simple question because you failed yourself to just what? Understand this simple difference between both components. So let us quickly take the characteristics of the components of the phloem one after the other, like we did for the xylem. Okay, so let us see the characteristics of what? Of the phloem components. Number 1, we say the sieve tubes. Sieve tubes. So now for the sieve tubes, number one, they contain or they possess what? Long tube-like cells for transporting food. Okay, so the sieve tubes, which is a component of the phloem, of the phloem rather, okay, they have what? Long tube-like cells for what? For transporting food. Also, they also have what? Elongated cells placed end to end. They have what? Elongated. Number 2, they have elongated. Know what elongated means, okay? They have what? Elongated what? Cells, okay? Placed end to end, okay? To form what? A tubular structure. All right, so this is another was characteristics of what? Of the sieve tubes, okay? They have long tube-like cells for transporting food. They have what? Elongated cells that are placed end to end, just like a sequel to this first one. They almost was explaining the same, all right? So they have elongated cells that are placed end to end to form a tubular structure. Then number 3, transverse walls. Transverse walls are perforated. Transverse walls are perforated. Take note of that. Transverse walls of the sieve tubes, they are perforated. Then because they sieve, okay, transverse walls are what? Are perforated. Then of course, number 4, they have to transport what? Nutrients, sugars and nutrients. All right. So number 4 helps to transport, okay, sugars, mostly sugars, and what? And nutrients. All right. So these are the characteristics of what? Of the sieve tube. All right. They have long tube-like cells for transporting food. They have elongated cells placed end to end to form a tubular structure so they can transport food. All right. The major function is to transport food. All right. And then of course they have transverse walls that are perforated and they help to transport sugars and nutrients. They help to transport sugars and nutrients. So that will now take us to the companion cells. Okay, let us now see the characteristics of the companion cell. All right, and what the companion cells do mostly is to assist this what sieve tubes in their function. Okay, the function of the companion cells are to assist what sieve tubes in their what in their function. So we have companion what cells. That's why they're called companion. Okay, you know what a companion is, isn't it? In your house, like a man and a woman, a father and a mother. The mother assists what the father assists what the mother in several different ways. So the companion cells help to assist the sieve tubes in their functionality. Okay, so we have a companion what cells. So number one function is to assist what the sieve tubes, okay, with their function, okay, with their function. And then number two is to control the activities of the sieve tubes, So number one is to assist the sieve tubes with their function. Then number two is to control the activities of the sieve tubes. These are the functions of the companion cell. All right, they assist the sieve tubes with their function and control the activities of the sieve tube. So let us go to number three. That will be the phloem The phloem parenchyma. The phloem parenchyma. But number three now, that was the phloem parenchyma. So the major function of the phloem parenchyma is storage of food. Okay, in like to they store food where. Okay, so the main function is what? Storage of food, and also assist in transport. It's also what? Assist in in transportation. Okay, so this is the main function of the phloem parenchyma. Storage is the main function. Helps to store food and assist in in transport. All right, and then secondly, it stores organic food. It stores organic food like starch. All right, it stores organic food like starch. All right, these are the function of the phloem parenchyma. Quite easy, right? Storage of food and assist in transport, helps to store organic food like starch. Then now that will now take us to the last one, which are the phloem fibers. And the phloem fibers, they're also called bast fibers. Also called bast fibers. So the phloem fibers, okay, also known as bast, B-A-S-T, bast fibers. Okay, they contain what we call sclerenchymatous cells. Okay, sclerenchymatous tissues. Okay, all right. They contain what is called sclerenchymatous tissues. Sclerenchymatous tissues. Okay, and what does this mean? All right, it means that they have sclerenchyma cells in them. Sclerenchyma cells in them. Okay, they contain sclerenchymatous tissues. It means that they have sclerenchyma cells in them, and they are thick-walled. And apart from being thick-walled, they have dead cells. In fact, that will now bring me to tell you that among all the four components of the phloem, where we now have what's the first component of the phloem we talked about right away. We talk about number one, we talk about the sieve tubes. Okay, then number two, we talk about the companion cells. Then number three, we talk about that is the phloem now. The phloem parenchyma. Okay, then number four, we'll now talk about the phloem fibers. Okay, among all of these four, okay, all these three, they are living cells at maturity. Take note. Okay, among all of these four, these first three, sieve tubes, companion cells, and phloem parenchyma, they are living cells at maturity. Only these phloem fibers are dead cells. Okay, they are the only dead cells among the phloem parenchyma, among the phloem components, please, among the phloem components. Why? What the xylem parenchyma is the only living cell, okay? Is the only what living cells among the xylem components. This one is what is the only dead cells among what the phloem component, while all others are what are living. Do you get it now? So please understand that and keep it, because you can be asked in an exam condition. So we say that the phloem fibers, they are also called the bast fibers, and the reason why they are called the bast fibers because what they contain what's called this sclerenchymatous tissues. Okay, like we said, what this means is that what they have sclerenchyma cells inside them, they have sclerenchyma cells inside them, they are thick wall, and what they are dead cells. All right, so we're still looking at what the characteristics. Number two function is to provide mechanical support. All right, to provide what mechanical support. This is the function of what of the phloem component called phloem fibers. I think we'll look at what the xylem, we'll look at what the phloem. All right, we in any exam condition, any question that we are asked concerning any of this, okay, there's no way we will not be able to know them. All right, so please let us ensure that we'll pay attention to all of them. So let us please see differences between what the xylem, okay, and the phloem, the differences between the xylem and the phloem. So please, before we go to answering question, ensure I'm going to give you an assignment also. So please ensure that what you comment the answers to the assignment on the comment section. Okay, just drop comments. All right, just say number one this, A, number two C, number three Z, and so on and so forth. So now I want to quickly look at what the differences between what xylem and phloem. Okay, so let us now see future. Yeah, the feature. Okay, feature. Then here, let us see xylem. Then here, let's have phloem. Okay, I think the distance between the xylem and the phloem is too much. Okay, so xylem here, phloem there. Now, let us see number one, the function, their function. Okay, what's the function of the xylem? Functions. All right, so even if you do not know everything, this table, this final difference, you should put it in your head. Let it stick. Okay, so the function of the xylem to transport water and minerals. Abi, so this one helps in transport of water. Sorry, I'm going to use H2O and minerals because of space. Okay, why this one helps in what? Transport of food. Abi, okay, so now let us see direction. Okay, in what direction do they transport whatever they are transporting? All right, we'll say that xylem transport mostly upward. Abi, okay, transport mostly upward. You see questions very soon, and then you open your mouth and say, this Master T told also. Okay, mostly upward. Then phloem in both direction, like I said, both direction. All right, so please take note of that. All right, so now we'll talk about function, we'll talk about what direction, then let's talk about what they are living cells. Okay, talk about living cells. Okay, let me just say dead cells. All right, dead cells. Now, for the xylem, we say it's only the xylem parenchyma that is living. Okay, so for dead cells, for cells, let me just say cells. Okay, let me just say cells. Let me not say dead cells now. Okay, let me just say cells. All right, so or let me just say living cells. Living cells. Let me say living cells. Okay, so here you can say what? Mostly dead. Okay, the living cells they do not have living cells. They are mostly dead. Okay, mostly dead, except for what? Xylem parenchyma. Okay, that is what the living cells. Okay, all the cells, okay, they are what? Mostly what? Dead for what? For the xylem, except for xylem parenchyma that is living at maturity. Then what about for phloem? Okay, all of them mostly what? Living cells. They are mostly living. Okay, except for what? For phloem fibers. Okay, so now components. Let us see components. Components. Okay, we know the component of the xylem. Okay, the component of the xylem, number one, we have the tracheids. Okay, then we have the vessels. You know the other one now. The other one is what? The xylem parenchyma and the xylem fiber. Okay, while for phloem, we have what? The sieve tubes. B now, then we have what? The companion cells. Companion cells. Okay, we know the main one. The main ones are what? Phloem parenchyma and phloem what? Phloem fibers. So that is that. Even if you don't know anything we have talked about today, all of this you should know them. Okay, know them. Know the function of what? The xylem and the phloem. Function transport water and minerals for xylem. Transport of food for phloem. Okay, direction mostly upward for phloem, both direction. Living cells mostly dead except for xylem parenchyma that is living. Mostly living for phloem except for phloem fiber that is dead. Okay, components, tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fiber. For phloem, sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem fibers, and phloem what? Parenchyma. So that is that for them. In fact, let us go to past questions now. Answer some questions, then give your assignment that you submit in the next. Submit the answers in the comment section. So let us see. Some of the questions we searched using the question search feature. You must learn to use that question search feature. In fact, in your assignment, that is what you use to search. All right, that's what you use to search for questions. Okay, because I will not teach you more than that. So now, go to the question search feature. Click on biology as a subject, and then just search for xylem. To make it easy for you, just search for xylem. Okay, just search for xylem. Okay, and then all the years that come outside, you now pick the year I'm giving you as assignment. You understand me? Then, while for phloem, just click on search for phloem. Go back then, search for phloem too. Okay, you see the years that are shown to you, that questions were asked on it. All right, you now pick the particular year I'm giving you as assignment. All right, you answer it and put it in the comment section. Now, let us see. this is a 2023 question number 4. 2023 question number 4. It has been shown on your screen this way. So let me come this way. They say, which tissue implants provide support and mechanical strength? Which tissues implants provide support and mechanical strength? A say dermal tissues, B say vascular tissues, C say ground tissues, D say meristematic tissues. Of course, you know that they are called vascular tissues. Okay, these complex permanent tissues are called vascular tissues. Okay, and I'm very sure that when we spoke about photosynthesis, all right, I spoke about all of that. Okay, they spoke about vascular bundles. So please, that's why any episode you miss, you are doing yourself. Go back, watch all of our episodes from the beginning, and you will understand biology in totality. All right, so that's called vascular tissues. Now let us see. 2016 number 36. They said the phloem tissue is made up of. The phloem tissue is made up of. Say wood parenchyma. Is wood parenchyma part of the phloem tissue? 2016 number 36. The phloem tissue is made up of. Say wood parenchyma. Is that correct? No. B say tracheids and wood fibers. Yeah, trachea is part of phloem at all? No. Okay, trachea is even what a xylem component. C says sieve tubes and companion cells. Is that correct? Very correct. Okay, this is xylem vessels. No. Correct answer is sieve tubes and companion cells. That's why you must know all the components of what? Of phloem and what? And xylem. All right. If you do not know that component, ensure you do immediately. Now let us see 2016 number 15. 2016 number 15, they say in plants, the structure which translocate manufactured food from the site of production to where it is used, okay, which of the company helps, which of the what tissues help in what transporting manufactured food? A say lentil cell, B say phloem, C say xylem, D say food vacuum. Of course, know that the phloem helps in transporting manufactured food. So take note of that. Option B will be the correct answer. So let's take one more question there and give you an assignment. 2012 number 19 says, use the diagram below to answer the question that follows. Okay, they say transportation in the xylem is represented by what in the xylem? Okay, we said that what xylem transport is upward what mostly, okay, is mostly what upward direction. So which one here, which of the arrows in this diagram is showing you upward direction? The first arrow is like this, Okay, the arrows are what are coming down, are showing the direction of the movement. Okay, all right. While the second arrow, look at the plant very well, as it's being shown on that side of the board. Okay, on the on the screenshot. Then of course, look at the other side. It's going like this. All right, and you can see the direction. It's going up. It's going up. It's going up. All right. So, and this one is labeled what? 4. This one is labeled I. Okay, is that so? I think so, yes. Then I label what I. All right, then we now have what? All these, they are leaves. Okay, that they drew. Okay. All right, so obviously 2 arrows are there. 2 arrows are there for our direction. So to show the direction of the movement of what? Of the transportation in Xylem, we know that it's already upward. So that means that what? Any arrow that is going upward will be our correct answer. That is what? IV. So A says I, B says I, C says I, D says IV. Correct answer is D, which is what? Is IV. Very simple. Now, let me give you an assignment. Go to the app, look for 2011 number 23 and answer. Look for 2010 number 12 and answer. Then look for 2001 number 15. All right, then look for 2023 number 19. Okay, then look for 2003 number 13. Okay, this 2003 number 13 is very easy. Okay, the question said if water that has been colored red is poured at the base of a wilting plant, it will appear as a red stain in the cell of A says Xylem, B says epidermis, C says phloem, D says parenchyma. Answer the question and drop it on the comment section. It's very easy. Transporting what is it transporting? Water that has what been colored red. That's what it is transporting. Okay, so what transport? Let this not be part of an assignment. What transport water? Is it not the Xylem? Xylem will what? Transport water, and then the stain will appear. Okay, will appear on what? On the Xylem. The Xylem what? Cell. So that's basically all. So these 4 questions, please put the answers in the comment section. My name is Master T. I'll see you in the next class. Okay, we'll continue talking about what's supporting tissues. See you there.